Okay, I would like to call the October 3rd, 2025 call board meeting work session to order at 1:09 p.m. Dr. Thomas, do you have any minutes to the agenda?
No, ma'am, I do not.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Would you like to make this motion?
No, let's if you
Want to
want
wait?
let's wait. I'll get Amy up here and talk.
Thomas, I'm turning the meeting over to you.
Okay, the only action item we have today is final approval of the 2025 millage rate. And with us is our CFO, Amy Smith, who will kind of give us a little more information about our millage. We had a meeting a week and a half ago that tentatively set the millage at 11.34 mils. So, Amy, throw it up to you. Okay.
I know at the last meeting you saw most of this before, but because we have a few people with us, we'll go through this real quickly again. The growth in the gross digest for this year was almost 21%, which is fantastic. We knew there was exceptional growth this year. This is the highest growth point that we've seen in a long time, but it equates to about $510 million. Increase in exemptions was $184.6 million. This is a direct result of House Bill 581. We did not opt out. So I'm going to have a little more information about that in just a minute. But it's a 126% increase in the exemptions. So when exemptions go up, taxable numbers for us go down. So that means our revenue goes down. Growth in the net digest was almost 16%, so it increased $325 million. The value of the mill for 2025 is just a little over $2.6 million, Jude. Now, y'all seen this before. This is called the PT 32.1. This is the worksheet we have to complete and submit to the Georgia Department of Revenue in conjunction with the Pickens County Tax Commissioner's Office. This has the prior year digest. There is a reassessment number that has to be included in this to offset any reassessments that were done during the year, and then the current digest. And in the middle section, I do wish I had a red pointer so I can actually point at this, but the middle section, it actually calculates what the rollback millage rate is. And that rollback millage rate, if we do not go back beyond the rollback rate, then that is considered a tax increase. If there is a tax increase, then you must do 3 additional public hearings and lots of advertising that goes along with that. Well, of course, we did not choose to do that. We opted to roll back beyond that rate. So our recommended rate is going to be the rollback rate was 11.344. We are recommending a 2025 millage rate of 11.34. This is a reduction in the millage rate of 0.86 mils. I will share some information with you too that the county, Pickens County government will be meeting Monday. They are decreasing their millage also. So between the two entities, it is over 1.3 mil decrease for Pickens County. So this is the 5-year history. This is the ad we're required to run. Again, it is required by the Georgia Department of Revenue, and it ran last Thursday in its progress, and it is required to be posted on our website, and it has been on our website for that 7-day process. Actually, it's been on there longer than that, and we'll leave it for this year. Millage rates, this is just a comparison to surrounding counties. We have Pickens, Cherokee, Dawson, Fannin, Gilmer, Gordon, and Lumpkin. We're similar to most, but of course Cherokee, we're just not in the same ballpark with Cherokee because of the numbers of students that attend there. But just wanted you to see where we were. We have a lot of questions that come up when it comes to our millage rate. So we're recommending 11.34. Well, Dawson, Fannin, and Gilmer are below that. So I know I pointed out a couple of years ago, if you compare our digest size to their digest size, most of these areas have either commercial businesses, industry, or recreational valuations that create a much larger digest. I'm going to actually I can't see that over there. I'm going to have to look at my sheet. But I wanted you to see on the top line to the far right side, the difference in our digest in Gilmer, Fannin, and Dawson. So you're talking about a difference. Gilmer County's digest is over $650 million more than ours. Dawson is over $600 million, and Fannin is over $1 billion more than ours is. It is that recreational area in Blue Ridge and Fannin County that creates that. That is how their millage rate, that calculation can be so much lower than ours. But Dossie's not too far behind us now. So just wanted to kind of point that out. The only other information I have to share, this is a question that I just thought would be interesting. The House Bill 581, we did not opt out of that. Most counties in the state, I believe, did. I do not have the number of how many did participate in it, but we chose not to opt out because the voters of the county said that they did want House Bill 581. This exemption, that additional exemption, cost us in revenue over $1.8 million. So that means we just don't get that money. Other counties will get it in their county, but we will not. This will be this way from here on unless there's some kind of change. This does not include the recommended and pending increase in the senior tax exemption income increase that the board did a resolution to include, and I think that Rick Jaspers has taken to the legislate to the
General Assembly.
Thank you from the end of this year. So, and I don't know where they are exactly in that process of, how far into it, but that does not include any change from that. That will be in our next millage run. In the past, we had talked about when we did our original budget approval, we did our tentative and then we did our final budget approval already as required. But we were going to dip into our fund balance about $555,000. We knew that. We were expecting that. Because of the difference in revenue that we will receive from this digest, we will actually have to dip into fund balance by $1.35 million. So we can handle that. We know we have a hearty fund balance. We anticipated that this could happen. It was a little more than we hoped it would be, but I really wanted to stay around that $500,000 mark. But we know we can handle it. And do y'all have any questions?
Sure, mate.
I guess just a comment.
Okay.
We did approve the increase in the senior tax exemption, and then Representative Jaspers did get it approved in General Assembly, and it's on the ballot for November.
Okay.
That our voters can be voting.
Tate.
Any questions?
Yeah. Okay.
So may I have a motion to approve the 2025 millage at 11.34 as presented?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gibson. So at this time, we'll start our work session. We got some important visitors here today with us, some teachers and some students here at Tate Elementary. For the past 2 years, we've heard from each of our principals as they've shared what they've been working on in their schools. This year, we're doing something a little different. We're actually coming to the school to hear from the principals at that school and some students and teachers. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to our principal of Tate Elementary, Mr. Scott Stevens. Mr. Stevens, you have the floor.
Thank you. First, I want to welcome you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity for you guys to be here, to have you in our building and to meet some of our teachers and meet some of our children means a lot. So thank you. When we were upstairs, I spoke to you a little bit about some of the data and our driving instructions, but what's most important to me today is for you to see the face of Tate Elementary School, to meet some of the teachers, and maybe more importantly, meet some of our students. Now, these are some of the students that may or may not show up on that wall as far as meeting our radar and those kind of things, but this is why we do what we do. So the first person up today is going to be Mallory Childers, and she has a couple of students with her. I'll let her introduce them. Mallory?
Thank you all for coming to visit with us.
They're very excited. We practice a lot. I'm going to let them go first because they are the best part of what I do every day. So I have Kevin Lee here and Lily McPherson, and Kevin is going to share with us first. Okay, Kevin, can you be a strong speaker?
Okay.
Oh, really loud, strong speaker.
You want enough the school. First, we got brand new floors. I love teachers, Miss Margaret and Miss Wiggington. They are so nice and very make learning fun.
Is it
Happy. I love to go to street hunting and Mr. Gravy. I also get to go up the breakfast everywhere. I feel big when I walk up there.
das ist mir.
My friends Willie and Olivia were out the best, being quiet at harder, and the baby went another way. Start time up. And just what I like to look at the wizard for the picture because I even the friends I on the playground household. We took the picture. There are so many things I love about school. That's why I think school is awesome. Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Very
fantastic.
good.
Good
Did a
job.
good job.
All right, and now we have Miss Lily.
Hey, good job.
Hi everyone. I want to tell you why I love school.
This guy.
I love math. It helps me wake up. It's
Fucking. Yes, right.
I love my teachers. They help me every day. And music class is awesome. And I also like when I get to be in Troublemakers. We make the best music.
Troublemakers, not trouble.
Job. Good.
I love that people can just fit ourselves. It helps. Helps make school in a big place. There's another that's very market. I love them years.
But
I also love treats. I like when they're given to us and for surprises. Barney playground is the best. I can run, I can slide, and I can do my And don't forget Miss Jane's food. Yes, yeah.
love it.
There are so many things I love about school. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.
They are definitely two examples of why I do what I do here every day, and I love them to pieces. I wanted to share just a little bit about my team, yes, and what I am most proud of here. But see if I can drive this. I was asked to share what I'm most proud of, and there are two things that I can tell you that I'm most proud of here. First and foremost is my special ed team. I've been the lead teacher here at Tate for 10 plus years, and I have one of the very best teams. I have the cartoon version of us and the real life version of us. I have some of the best people ever on this team. We range from having a self-contained behavior support room to all kinds of service models here at Tate, and we could not do what we do every day without these people. They give their heart and soul to what they do. But I really want to talk about this new model, and Mr. Baker is staring me down over here because he pushed us out of our comfort zone this year and had us do something that we had never done before in the way that we're doing it. You all have heard of IDEA. That is our special ed law that tells us that our students with disabilities need to be served with their typical peers as much as possible. So this year, we have really taken that on and taken it to heart. And we are pushing out our kiddos who have services in the smaller group setting more and more with their general education peers. And I am so very proud of this. There are many reasons why. We're using what we call the collaborative small group model. Our kiddos are in the gen ed classroom with a special ed teacher for a portion of the time that they are in the tier 1 setting. They are getting to hear grade level content, grade level standards. We all know our kiddos with disabilities are tested using the same end of grade assessments as everybody else. No one in my school takes the Georgia Alternative Assessment, so they're all taking the milestones. and they were not participating in Tier 1 curriculum as much as they could have been. So this year they are. And we have pushed them out more and more, and I'm so very proud of that. There are so many benefits of it. Like I mentioned, more Tier 1 grade level exposure. We are pushing higher expectations. We have peer modeling, peer learning, targeted specialized classroom interventions, social interaction, relationships that are happening, increased confidence and self-esteem. If you would have seen these two friends years ago, it would have blown your mind to see what they're doing now. I think people had tears in their eyes in the audience, and I did too, because we have made it so very far. Opportunities for self-advocacy and exposure to diverse teaching. And I have some pictures to show you what this looks like in action. You'll see some of the same faces you just saw. So many different wonderful things happening. I have students who are leading the classroom who have significant disabilities. And this is an H&A classroom. And it's just heartwarming to see what this collab model has done for us. I'm very, very proud of it. And on to the next.
Thank you.
Good job.
Also, this is our reigning teacher of the year.
Yes, that's right.
And in our Aspire Leader Group Leadership Academy.
Good.
She's doing a great job.
Good.
Great job, Mallory. Oh, Amy, you don't care about Holly Morano? Sorry, Holly.
Yeah.
I'll stay.
So like I have all of that, but I brought white. And so white is a shining example of a third grader that we have. I'm Holly Morales. I teach third grade. Let me get this. I prepared it.
Awesome.
This is Wayne Lake School. It's great to be at Tate. I love it because of the teachers and how helpful and kind they are. The classes are great too. They are very interesting. For example, opinion writing and Miss Lawson's class, mystery science and Miss Tatum's class, and we made a school out of straws in Miss Lawson's class as well. Anyone who wants to come? Yeah.
Thank you. Very good.
Very good. Good job.
So goodness. One of my favorite things with these students is conversations. You can see they're just ready to talk to you, ready to add to the conversation, and they do a really good job of it. I start, because I am a gen ed teacher, I start talking to my other teachers. And I will talk to Miss Mallory or some of the other SPED teachers because I have those students in my room as well, which we just talked about that collaborative model, and they are welcome in my room. I talked to her about how I can make them feel welcome, what ability levels are there so that I can touch on those, because I'm a Tier 1 teacher. I like to teach to the standards with rigor and introduce those new third grade skills. But I need to make sure all of those students are learning and growing and feel welcome in my room. So I have conversations with the special education teachers and they give me strategies and I'll say, what about this? And we go back and forth. Wonderful conversation. Then I go in with my students and we have, this is my board from my room just yesterday. We have number talks, which are just short strings of numbers or an image that shows up on the board. But they've really led me into conversations because I try to get an image or a number string that's going to match what we're talking about that day. And students will look at the image, everybody thinks about it, when they can solve it, they give me a thumbs up right here. So when I see some thumbs up, we start talking about answers. I might get 4, 5, 6, 10 different answers, but we write them all down. And they'll tell me if they agree with an answer or not. So I'm like, okay, we'll take that. I'll look at the ones where most of the people agree. And I'll get somebody to explain it. They're all willing to explain how they got their answer. But my favorite part about that is somebody who didn't necessarily agree or who gave me one of the wrong answers, about halfway through a strategy, that child will go, I know what I did wrong. And I think that's fabulous. Nobody told that student they were wrong, but they are thinking it through, finding their own mistakes, and then fixing them. I love that. I love that. And so we go through several different problems. I take notes. We talk about it. I learned that the way I do things is not always the way they do things. And they give me such good ideas because I'll say, I never thought about it like that. And then somebody else will say, well, I did this. So those are really good math conversations when we go to do independent work. Somebody will say, well, I remember when we were doing this and so said. So they're learning from each other, not just me telling them how to solve a problem, but those different strategies. Then we talk to gifted students. Miss Tatum, I'll go to her. If I see somebody who's really bright and shining, and I'll say, Miss Tatum, I need to extend the learning for these people. And it's not always a labeled gifted student, but it could be anybody in the classroom who needs that encouragement and that little bit of extension for math. So that, again, is a teacher conversation. I also have an interventionist that comes into our room, a math interventionist, which I think is wonderful because we have reading specialists and we have reading people, but I have a math interventionist. And we have those conversations. And I'll say, what strategy are you using? And then we can use it for the whole classroom. Or I'll ask some of those students who see the math interventionist, what did you learn today? And they'll say, oh, well, I solved it this way. And it gives them pride. They know that they can solve these problems and show everybody else how to do it. This year at parent conferences, they were some of the best parent conferences I think I've had in a long time. Like, I didn't walk out at the end of the day drained. I walked out and I was like, you know what? This is going to be good. We're going to do this. And I felt like it was a real team. So those conversations were necessary and helpful. And I think we all walked away with a plan to help our students be successful. So those are my favorite things about talking with these students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is going to sound like a broken record because I have some similar talking points. I'm Hillary Tate, the gifted teacher at Tate, and I have with me one of my students, Isaac Sisson, who's going to help me out. So I get the privilege to pick up where those classrooms leave off. I get the opportunity to extend lessons a little deeper, have some critical thinking, just because of the freedom of my time that I have with my students. We are able to do more hands-on things. And collaboration, it's the key with teachers and myself. And then back to even what Ms. Rana said, hearing my students collaborate. We do a lot of work in groups or in partners because this population is also in need of social skills. And so a lot of our activities and our work revolves around working with people that we may not have chosen to play on the playground that day, or people that just drive us up the wall, because it's actually those reactions to how we deal with that situation in life that is the most important. So a lot of my day has all kinds of things going on. So Isaac has been a student of mine since the first grade. I also have the opportunity to learn about my students for multiple years. And I'm going to let Isaac kind of talk about some of these pictures of things we've done in the past and talk about what he loves about school.
I really like Miss Tatum's class because we do a lot of hands-on projects like we cut and glue and we cut and glue. Oh, you can look at sugar. We cut and
Tell it to me. Tell it to me.
I don't know how to say it. And
About the mystery.
Like Miss Gibson got those too.
I can't read mine, so you're ahead of me already.
Okay, so Isaac loves hands-on projects because he really loves to cut and glue. So we do lots of mystery science projects where we get to do that. Oh, that was the picture of the hat. And back to you, I'll tell about that.
we do a lot of hands-on projects like this one where we made a hat to try to survive the desert.
There you go.
And then what's around your neck? That was like what stuff.
This is a walk-in classroom right here where you turn it on. And you can select anything from 1 from 167.
Okay.
Lefties.
Oh.
So you plug in earbuds or headphones to
Like,
listen to it while you walk around the hall.
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very fun for me. You just hold it and it comes off.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
We also do a lot of strategy games like Chess from Alcala. And it helps us with our sportsmanship, good sportsmanship, and strategy.
Excellent.
Now, if you're up for it, we would like to invite you to try one of our favorite activities in our class. And I'm going to let Isaac read our story. Since we didn't have a football game tonight, I thought we should do something football themed. So while he's reading this, I'll get the boxes prepared, and you will have plenty of help if it's needed. But I think they're going to have fun. So get out. Yeah, all right, go for it, Isaac.
Tonight, our high school football team plays our biggest rivals. We definitely have a great team and a good chance to beat them. But we have to make sure we make it to the game on time. Unfortunately, our rivals snuck into the bus garage and stole the key to the bus. The key is securely hidden in the breakout EDU box. They have left us some clues, and if we solve them on time, we can break the key out of the box. The problem is the bus moves to leave in 30 minutes. Can we get them the key on time?
So that's the challenge.
Sounds like something Gilmer County would do.
That's
too.
right.
It does.
It said Bobcats, but I took it out.
Mhm.
So when we do these in class, all of these locks are on one big box. But for today's purposes, we're going to
We just keep quiet.
have each person try their lock. And Wyatt and Isaac, you guys can be great resources to help you that.
We are the clueless kittens. I've actually been in West Ham since kindergarten.
That's right. All right, come look, see who's going to need some help. Sprouts and the bench.
Y'all gonna deal? Yeah.
Check with Jody.
All right, oh, that's a tough one.
I wasn't paying attention.
Who found the key?
Well, actually, he did.
We can get Gilmer out. Yes.
Oh, great.
I have to be honest here.
No, it's fine.
There you go.
Thank you so much, guys. You're welcome. Great job.
Finally.
That's it. Thank you guys for playing.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, as we kind of wrap this up, you know, when I showed you the data up in our data room and talked about all the diddles and that talks about all of our successes. But with like Kevin Lee and Lily McPherson, those are two students that will statistically not be a success on our wall. But if you could have seen Kevin Lee even a year ago, or especially if you had seen him when he first entered Tate, there's no other definition of success other than what he has become. I mean, the growth that he has made, and Lily as well, is phenomenal. So, you know, yes, data and statistics are very important, but you have to put a name to it. You have to understand the successes of each individual child. Because Kevin Lee, and the teachers got emotional because they know what he was like 3 years ago and what he's like today. So, you know, I sit here and I can tell you about it, but, you know, for the teachers who have experienced it, it's a different thing. So I wanted you guys to experience that. And then, of course, I will agree with a number of things that they said. Number one, Miss Childers in special ed, it's the best special ed group I have ever been around in my educational career. They're a team, they work together, they're phenomenal. Miss Childers is a leader in our school and is going to be a leader in this district for you. Miss Holly, She was part of that fourth grade math group that was number one, you know, in all the schools. She's been a team player. She's gone down to third grade for me to help with the third grade score. So not only is she an absolutely phenomenal teacher, but she's a team player and willing to do things that get her out of her comfort zone. And then
She
Miss
was my
Tatum,
grandson's favorite teacher.
yeah, well, she's an excellent teacher. And then Miss Tatum, I mean, she's a born leader, and she is destined for great things in Pickens County. And I think just the short time that she spoke to you, I think you'll recognize that. But I'm extremely proud of all the teachers, all the students, and Miss Valerie's right when she said Tate's great. I mean, we're happy to be here, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and thank you for coming and seeing us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Any questions from Mr. Stevens before we let him vacate?
Well, let me just say, I said this to you privately, but you get rave reviews from the teachers, from other people in the county, and from the board and the superintendent. And we're awfully glad that you're here and you've made a tremendous difference in our school.
I'm proud and I'm humbled to be here, and it's only because I have a great sports staff. They do want so well.
Good. Thank you. They just,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, when Mr. Stevens says it's the best he's ever seen, he's got a lot to compare. Keep in mind what he means.
Now, I want to thank the teachers and especially those young students bold enough to come.
Yeah, that's
See,
tough.
and
That's tough.
To the cafeteria staff for that wonderful dessert.
yeah, new hallways and
Yeah, keep Kyle with the attention out.
Mr. Stevens, thank you again for the hospitality. Thank you, Ms. Childers, Ms. Gaddis, Ms. Tatum, Ms. Moranis for coming in and sharing about
yes.
your school and for bringing the kids into. Thank you very much.
Another big hand for y'all.
I didn't mention her, but Miss Gaddis did a lot of work setting up and helping us out, and she's my go-to person as well. So thank you, Miss Gaddis.
Okay.
All right, so at this time, we're going to shift out of goal area 1, that was student achievement and success with Tate Elementary. And now we're going to look at goal area 3, communication and engagement. And so in your folders, I did want to share just a bit of information with you. I only got 2 of these pamphlets, but at the September board meeting, we formally approved DT Spade out of Atlanta as our real estate agent for the sale of our property, the old high school property. And Stacy Williams and I met with the agents last week, had a good conversation. They provided us with these brochures that you see right here, as well as ask us for a few items. And they have asked us to prepare a facility condition report and environmental report, which we're currently working on both of those. They've also asked for other items such as a survey. We had that, the floor plan, we had that, a copy of our recent appraisal for the building. We had that as well, our usage agreements, and then other agreements as well. And so we had provided everything to our agent that we have completed, and the facility condition report and the environmental report we're gathering for them. Okay, so I do want to share that notification of the property being for sale was sent out electronically last week, and our agent they're planning to have a sign on the property in the near future. Okay, I do believe that DT Spade they understand the significance of that property to our community, and they see this as a gateway, to our downtown. So, with all that said, with us today, I've invited Marty Callahan to speak to us. Marty's bringing in games or food. Okay, all right. So Marty is a member of the Downtown Development Authority and actually on the board with DDA. So I've asked Marty to come and just speak to us a little bit about that particular property. And Marty, I'll turn it over to you. Okay.
I don't have a little formal presentation, but I'm not going to do as well as the kids. So I'm
They got to follow, man.
very, I know, it'd be hard to follow. What I want to do is just, first of all, who graduated from Pickens High School? Okay, you did not. Where'd you graduate?
We're high school and we're in West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay. All
I
right. So
taught in Pickens for
several years.
15, 20 years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got 47 years of teaching in my family, between my mom and my wife who's retired and my daughter who still is now teaching. So I know a lot about the board. I know a lot about Pickens County. I graduated, some of y'all, Pickens High School, got into some trouble with some of y'all.
That's enough, Mark.
No, okay. Yelled a few referees at ball game or two.
Yes.
So we know each other quite a bit. So, but I want to thank, first of all, the opportunity for y'all to let me come and speak. I know it's Friday afternoon, I'm going to be as brief as I can. Because this is about, the biggest thing I want to talk to you about is, and I think it was mentioned before, collaboration. And collaboration between this county, and as proud as you are, I am about it, and in the city of Jasper and our downtown area, is that collaboration means that we have to work together between boards, councils, authorities, to make our county the best it is. We can talk about millage, we can talk about counties and size and revenue and all the tax base and all that, but we want to make our little district, our county, the best. I hope you do too. And what we want to see as the Downtown Development Authority, and I hope you've seen some of that work that we put on in the last few months, but few years. One thing is the downtown events that we've been doing in downtown Jasper. We've been bringing families, communities, visitors to our town. That's one big thing that has been nice for downtown. Second thing is the 8-year project that we're just now grading the Perot Park up town. So you've seen that. That's coming, and I hope at the school we can work together with y'all on that and be able to use that as a venue that you can share with us as the city. It's our venue, it's our event, it's our place, and I want to be able to let you as the school come in when you want to have events there. If you want to have, I know your auditoriums are great, your facilities are great, but if you can have an outside event there, we want to be able to have that. So it's not just going to be a downtown Jasper event. It's going to be our county and our city events. And that's what I'm about, is collaborating between city and county to get things like that done. But what I'm here to talk about too is the property that y'all have worked on and you own. And if your property is about you needing to sell it to help you with your balances and everything, we understand that as a business owner and as a board of the city. We understand that that's if that's the case, you need to, and you need to have the price and you sell it for the best, whatever you can get it for or you need to, that's great. But it is 20 acres almost that's in the city downtown district that we're working with. And it's going to be changing like everybody that's coming with this highway project. It's going to eventually happen. We've been talking about for 20-something years. But it's going to have two big roads, we're going to go right around it. And I'm sure you know that. I'm sure all the discussion y'all have had about talking about it. But we still don't know exactly what the access is going to be to it. We still don't know what the usability of the road. Well, what can you put there? I mean, if you were a developer and you were going to come out and buy it, what could you put there? What would you want to put there as a developer? What do you want to see it as the place you went to high school? That's the question you want to ask. And as the board you have control of some of that. Now, to sell it to a developer, but what can the developer do to that? That's the thing that you have to ask yourself. What can it be? What should it be? And then and then we'll all decide on what it can be and what it's used for. You know what it's used for now, after the school's closed. It's a soccer field, it's a parking lot for chamber, Marble Festivals this weekend. It's used for, you've got tenants that are in there now. So we know what it's used for now, but what can it be used for in the future? As the Downtown Development Authority, we have some abilities that the city council can't do, the school board can't do, and there's a lot of things that we can do as far as some government loans and some things that might be something we might partner with to look at. But all I'm asking for today, there's no commitment, there's no vote, because we don't even know what we can offer, but we'd like to have a partnership to see if y'all have any desire to move forward.
Okay, so let me just clarify for my sake. Are you, Mr. Callen, are you asking us to hold off on
No.
selling?
No.
Are you asking then that we bring you into the negotiating process?
No.
Okay, so what specifically do you want from us?
We would like to sit down and just talk about what it could be.
Okay.
I think when you talk about all the regulations and all the things that, like you talk about the reports you've got to get to your broker that's selling this, they're going to come back to you and go, okay, well, that's going to eliminate this, and this, and it's going to add this and this and this to people that we could possibly sell it to. Mm-hmm. Well, we could also be part of that because we can have, there's a big thing of water. We know that's an issue in the city. Sewer is another issue. So right there, we'll take out a lot of things that a developer might want it to be. You've got codes. What can it be? What can it be zoned to be? You've got churches right there. You've got a cemetery right there. You've got businesses and you've got residential around it. So, in hopefully 3 to 4 years, we're going to have a 4-lane highway coming on both sides of it. So how are you going to get to it? Those kind of things. What we're looking at is it something that we could be a connectivity to downtown Jasper.
Okay.
Sure.
You haven't brought up anything we haven't already discussed already, but it's great to have additional input.
Sure.
So I'm glad you're
Sure.
here. I appreciate
So
it.
it's just really just an invitation that if you would like to be a partner to what we would like to do, and then we can move forward.
We certainly do
Yeah.
want that as much as we can.
Because, we'd all want it to be a school, or it could be, or something that mimics a school possibly, because we're there at some point in time. And it doesn't have to be. I mean, I've heard mixed use facility, it could be mixed use with housing, it could be shops, it could be, whatever it could be. But we'd like to be a piece of it if there's interest.
Okay.
But you're the board, you're the elector body that makes those decisions, and we don't want to be hindering that position. But if there's a partnership, collaboration that we'd like to do, we've got some ideas and we'd like to sit down and talk. But no, not to hold up the process. We don't want to delay it. We don't want to be out there saying, well, this group is saying that we can't sell it because we want to do this with it. Well, if that's your prerogative and you've listed it, or you have listed it, you've got it valued now, and now you know what it's worth. If that's what you need to do, and as a taxpayer, that may be the best thing that happens. But is it the best thing for the community? And I'm not saying it's not, but collaboration we'd like to be a part of.
Well, we appreciate your thoughts.
Okay. And if there's any questions,
But Marty, I just want to say, I appreciate where you're caring about. I mean, all of us need to care about what happens there in
Sure.
space.
sure.
So, I mean, if we can, there's certain things I wouldn't want to see there. So I think it behooves us all to kind of talk and work through some of this together as the ideas about what could possibly be there.
I mean, it's like any real estate sales. It's like anybody that's in a housing market right now. You sell it for that. Then where are you going? It's
Right.
that theory of what can be there. And I'm sure y'all talked about it and those kind of things. And any other assets you have, I mean, it can be sold for a certain value, but you can control what can happen there. And we'd like to be able to, and it's not that we want to control what goes there. We would like to be a partner if you have thoughts of what could be there. And then we could have some more discussion down the road. There's no agreement. There's nothing signed. I don't need a vote. I don't need it. I see what I'm here for is nods of the heads that you are interested.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what we're after.
Hey, Marty, have you guys the DDA sat down and just kind of spitballed any sort of path on what you want to go down? I mean, have you just said, hey, good Lord, if we could talk to these board people into getting this one thing, that would be great? I mean, is there something at the top of your list that y'all have talked about?
No.
Okay.
No, they're not spend it defined or anything like that. I mean, there's been thousands of ideas.
Sure.
But half of those probably can't be. A third of them probably can, and then that kind of thing. So we're all just, I don't know. And there's other communities where there's property that in schools are part of it because they've been there so long. That property is there, but then it becomes not a school. I mean, it's not, this situation hasn't, this first time it's ever happened. I mean, there's other schools. You go to other towns, north of here or south of here, have the same issues going on.
Okay.
So, but we don't have there's no one thing that, there's needs of everything
Sure.
here. I mean, housing, there's all kinds of things like that, but what can be there, we can't control, but we want to be able to have that vision of it could be.
Gotcha.
8 years ago, when we started to build the amphitheater part, it took that long, 8 years, that's when that idea started, and now you see dirt move. So things like that just don't start in a day or two.
Got it.
Gotta make some plans.
Well, Marty, we're in a little bit of a unique situation compared to a lot of communities around us. That's set right at the gateway into Dale Town.
Sure.
So we certainly want to be conscious
Sure.
of what might possibly go with
Sure.
that space if it's so. And that's a little unique compared to some of the other communities. That's good.
Yeah, you're right. You're very true. It is. It's a very big part of it. So it's just an open invitation and discussion, and we would be glad to, sit down and talk to you more about it when we can, if that's something y'all would like to talk about going forward. But I know what your intentions are when you have a real, on all those things that you want to do, and there's nothing wrong. I know I'm not against that at all. Even if you've got something you want to sell, need to sell, have to sell, that's up to y'all. That's your role to do that. We're not trying to delay, hamper, or stop or speed up. We're just want to be a partner if we possibly could be involved in that.
Rachel,
I don't have a check today to write. If I did, I would let we'll do that. But
Yeah.
there is ways that, as the Downtown Development Authority, that we have that we can do things that even the council can't do that. We can hold debt. I'm not, Thurston City Council can't hold debt. We can hold debt. So things that DDAs are big entities. Look up Canton DDA or Marietta City DDA. Look at what they can do. And a lot of them are partnerships with their consistent. You'll see that's one thing that I'm doing a little research on this. I found out that's part of one of the things that's drove me to what's this about? It's schools and the city that does it, because it's part of the community.
Thank you.
Marty, thanks for coming.
Thanks so much. Allow me to be here and budget time.
Thank you very
much. Thank you. Staying in goal area 3, this is communication engagement. This time we're going to call up Corey Thompson. Corey is our Director of Support Services to give us a monthly update on our support services.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Thank you guys for allowing me to be here. I'm sorry I didn't have these in your folders, but I have some information for you here.
Thank you.
And so,
Next time I need to be in the folder.
Absolutely.
We've talked about this so many times.
I will tell you, I don't know if it's Marble Festival traffic or what, but it took me longer to get to Tate today than it normally
Yes.
does. It took me a long time. I was in town. That's right. So, and that's not just an excuse. I'm glad that you can relate to that. So, absolutely. So first thing I've got here, the attendance, our average daily attendance for September. Just like we've done, or I did last year, we've got the comparison of this year to the previous 2. On the far right, you can see there our numbers for the past September. And in most cases, in most schools, we were higher than we were last September. Remember last September, that was right on the heels of the tragedy in Appalachia. So we had some things that we worked through with law enforcement. So those numbers there in the middle reflected that. You can see for September, we were at 94.66%. We are hoping to be at 95% each month. We were over that in August, not quite there in September. One thing, we had our attendance protocol meeting this morning, and Kayla Kenter and Whitney Carnes, our social workers who really are tracking our attendance, noted that we had about 30 families district-wide who maintained their own fall break in September this year, even though you guys approved a couple of years ago, and it was posted at that point and moving forward that it's going to be in October this year. But 30 families, that is still less than 10% of that, all of them. So looking at enrollment, the next slide here, in September, the end of September, our enrollment is down overall in the district. You can see that. One thing I did add here was the difference from the previous month, because we've talked about it several times in looking at how is it looking. But if you look even a couple years ago in the month of September, in most cases except for Tate in 23-24, we were either even or lost kids. So if you look at the top, Harmony Elementary School, in 23-24, from the previous month, so from August of 23 to September, we had 2 kids withdraw. In the middle, last year, Harmony had 2 kids withdraw. This year in September, they had 3. So again, in most cases, we are either staying where we were or losing a few in September. So these recent numbers, just like we've mentioned a few times, aren't necessarily, they're alarming, of course, to lose kids. However, this is a trend that we have been seeing. Any questions about that one before I kind of move? And I will remind you, for the high school, the increased number there, Those kids that are leaving are typically going to a Mountain Ed situation, but they can't just enroll directly there. It has to be the homeschool. So the next slide, this is the enrollment and withdrawal summary as of August the 1st. So if we look at this for the entire year, you can look the new enrollments from early August until October 1st, we've enrolled 32 new students. We have lost overall 43, so we're down 11 as a whole there. You can see in parentheses the number to homeschool. Again, I'll mention the high school, those are going homeschool, then into Mountain Ed. Next slide, we've got our school discipline data comparison. Now this is September from 2024 and 2025, so last school year to this school year. If you look at the total numbers for the district, you can see that we have almost 100 more office referrals this September than we had last September. But if you note there at Pickens High School, they were at 83 in September of 24, and 14 of those were for electronic devices or cell phones. This year they're at 200 office referrals, 71 of those being cell phones. Even though we don't have the board policy that restricts cell phones to K-12, we are following the law for the K-8 cell phones. They are cracking down more on that at the high school level, as you can see there, with the increased number of referrals. But when you look at the SRC, that means state reportable consequences, you can see last year 78 of the 206, or 38%,
Teachers and students, please pardon
Had
this
a,
interruption. If you're supposed to meet Miss Lori in the cafeteria with your backpack, please make your way quietly down there now. If you
And
want to
having-
meet Miss Lori.
Having known her, I know when Miss Teresa comes on, we need to be silent and pay attention. So, but no, so 38% of those consequences were state reportable last year. And this year, even though we have more office referrals, 36% resulted in state reportable consequences. So I thought that was very important to point out, even though we're looking at more, in quantity, the percentage of state reportables are less as far as the consequences. Then on the right, the minor incidents. So these are the things the teachers are managing. So the administrators don't necessarily get called or get a report for this one. You can see from last year we had 340, this year we have 381. I don't think that's anything to really put at an alarming rate. I think that does speak to the support that our teachers and administrators feel from you guys and from the administrators in the school, that they're getting support and help when needed.
Now, which category would dress code fall into?
It depends. In most cases, dress code would fall into the office referrals. However, in all cases, it really would with what we're doing with the dress code this year. Sometimes what ends up with the consequence of that, of course, the kids are typically changing, and that would be, most cases, an admin warning. One thing that we have seen is that some kids who are not as compliant as others, it may lead to another office referral where they are being disrespectful to staff or use of profanity or things like that. But typically, that's going to fall under that.
I just came to my mind, that's one change that has been made that's been fairly prominent. That could explain some increase.
Yes, sir. Very well good. So the next slide I've got here, so this is the support service update. So I deal with the student service stuff, which is great. I've talked to you about that without the support service. Things that we're doing in registration, student information, and data. We have FTE coming up. So our FTE count date is next Tuesday, October the 7th. That is where the state of Georgia, they have us capture the services and the schedules that our students are receiving, and that really helps base the funding that we get back for those kids. And I'm happy to report, this year I feel like we are much further ahead of schedule than we have been in years past. I've worked very closely with the student information team, Michelle Payne specifically. We met with all of our district leaders to come up with a plan for FTE. We did that in early September. Met with all of our directors, the chiefs, talking about the process and involving various areas to make sure we're on the same page as far as getting the information, make sure everything is coded correctly. Then Ms. Payne and I went out to every school. We met with the school administrators, the academic coaches, gifted coordinators, special ed lead teachers, and we went through their information and their data. We explained the process, how things are coded in Infinite Campus, our student information system, and how that is then going to be uploaded and reported to the state. We will get errors. We always do. We will rectify those errors, work with the state on that. Georgia DOE, they have started office hours every week. So Ms. Payne and I are listening in on the open office hours and getting a lot of information from them to make sure that we are up to speed. But we are really focusing this year, we want to be proactive, not reactive. There will be some reactivity from us based on what we get and what errors. However, we did have those meetings that went very, very well. And again, I think we're further ahead this year than we have been in the past. And on the right side there, I want to say thank you to Dr. Thomas, Mr. Parker, and you guys especially. Our new building is phenomenal. You know, moving everybody together has really helped as far as the support service department, having all of us together. Everything looks fantastic. So thank you guys for your support and help with that. And one thing that we are doing, and thank you for this position, we are going to be recommending, Dr. Petty is going to be recommending a data clerk for the junior high at next week's board meeting. So this is getting back to the mentality that we have data professionals in the schools. So the high school, of course, now has the registrar data clerk. We're going to have one at the junior high school. And one of the student information specialists we have in our office and building, we're going to devote her solely to Jasper Middle School. So from 5th grade until 12th grade, we're going to have a data professional to support the school itself in all aspects and areas. Right now, they're looking at attendance, they're looking at custody changes, there are any address census information, but they're doing it more globally. This way, it's all going to be assigned, and as we get into the process of even scheduling for next year, they're going to be very instrumental. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Clark.
But you gotta point out, there's no new people.
Yes.
It's like somebody left, to replace it with this, just make sure.
Yes. So thank you, Mr. Parker, for helping reassign the
We're not adding a
person.
position.
Right.
Right, make sure for the taxpayers out there, we're down the village, down. You getting all that? Get all that?
I got it.
Reallocation of a position, so no new, a new human, new number. So, now, and one goal we will have even through the process is we will still have centralized registration, meaning if a family enrolls in the district and they have a student at the junior high, Tate Elementary, and the high school, they won't have to travel to all three schools. They can still do that mostly online. If they have questions, they can come to one location to work through those things. Last update I've got here is for Dragon Care. We had the ribbon cutting for our school-based health center on September the 26th. They had been open for a few days, a week and a half, I think, before that. And the ribbon cutting was great, attended by a lot of people. Several of you were there, so thank you guys for that. Very excited there. Several folks from the Georgia Department of Education came up, enjoyed the drive, enjoyed the scenery, and the reception. And they have opened over 100 school-based health centers, and they were very complimentary of the process that we have had and the relationship with Good Samaritan and the facility itself. So it's very exciting. You can see here over 1,000 students have returned the signed consent forms. What that means is we just ask, do you want more information? If your student would need to be seen, could they be seen by Dragon Care? Just the preliminary piece that we have to know if they do visit the clinic, that we could then call on the parent and Good Sam or Dragon Care for that service. The goal for each new school-based health center is 25% of the host school. So that would be 25% of Pickens Junior High because it's on that campus. We have over 80% of junior high students have returned that. And as the district as a whole, you can see over 1,000. So about a third or a little less than a third have returned.
Corey, tell them nobody will get seen that doesn't have. They're not seeing anybody. It's not like the nurse. The nurse somebody might go see the nurse who hadn't called their mom before they see them, right? The nurse just looks at them first. They're our employee. They're going to have consent to go out there. Board clear that.
And in addition to consent, even if the consent's signed, they're still going to get a phone call before Dragon Care staff sees them. So they're still going to receive that call. And the extra paperwork that we all have to do at the doctor's office, that comes from Dragon Care, Good Sam, not from us. They have started their behavioral health services, so they are seeing Pickens Junior High students currently. And only that, they're taking more recommendations, but they're trying to catch up and schedule who we have. But that's going very well. And we still meet with them every month, the Dragon Care staff, as well as Good Sam CEO, Tammy Soares, been great. We still meet with them, and every quarter we have our advisory board meeting, not board, council meetings, where we've just talked through the process, gone over the forms, gone over everything. And so far, those have been very productive and very exciting. One piece on the back of your packet, I don't have slides for them, but I do have the school-based health center visit page. So June Ash, who is at Dragon Care, compiled this information for us. So in September, Dragon Care saw 94 students in our district. 82 were telehealth or telemedicine visits, 12 in person. They saw one family member, so keep in mind and remember, they see all students, all staff members, and all household members of a student or staff. So if someone lives in the house of one of our students, they can go to Dragon Care to be seen. They can't do telemedicine in a school, but they could go to the facility. And then total staff members that we're seeing were 18. So you can see that Dragon Care has made a huge impact so far, even with our district. So
Does a family member call in, or do they just go in?
either.
Either one?
We would hope they would call first, but if they don't, they just show up. They're going to either one, make an appointment for them,
Okay.
or they would be able to see them depending on the availability. And then the last piece, I know I'm kind of talking all over the place, but I did this slide for another presentation I forgot to add here. This is our average daily attendance for the first 9 weeks. So for the first quarter of school, and I say almost first quarter, I ran it yesterday, and today's the official last day of the first 9 weeks. I told you we wanted to be above 95% average daily attendance. So for the first 9 weeks, we are. As a district, we're at 95.29% average daily attendance, which is higher than the previous 2 years. So excited to report that one too. Now, any questions for me?
Let me add in one thing quick about student services. You guys may have heard the announcement out there. I said go see Miss Lori. That's the weekend snack program. What that is people all across the street donate, and people can go get food to carry home for the weekend. And they're good at it every single one. I'm just saying you guys got a little glimpse of that happened while you was school. I just want to highlight it.
Well, this is a very important program.
Yeah.
I had one student who just absolutely was in a panic because she had forgotten to go down and get her food. And she said, "Oh, if I go back, Miss Finley, the bus is going to leave me." I said, "Sweetheart, I will make sure that bus does not leave. You go get your food." That's how important it is because she was in a panic. She wouldn't get to eat that weekend.
Yeah, it's a great program. I don't know that we've ever been turned down for people who want help. That's something that Marty knows, even not even heard about. Like everybody in the community knows about that program. It's been very well received. People participate. It's great, and it really does make a difference.
Yeah,
You
it
can see like
does.
those kids getting backpacks on Friday, every Friday.
They're very important.
Yeah, correct. So, to you. All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
Real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna take about a quick 10-minute break and we will be back in just a moment. Back to you.
Okay, we'll reconvene. Just one last bucket of information I do want to share with you. This is under strategic goal area 4, organizational and operational effectiveness. This is also in your packet there. I think Mr. Gartrell had asked us about board recognition and the criteria for the GSBA. We are a quality board right now, and the next step is distinguished. And so I just shared with you just a little bit of information about what we do, what we need to do to become a distinguished board. And it's a lot of the same criteria that we did for the quality, okay? But there is a couple of different bullet points I just wanted to share. One is that we have a self-assessment that we do, but for distinguished board, we would need to have a committee that involves 2 members of the community and 2 of the board members, and then 1 district office administrator who kind of assesses our board. Okay, so to be distinguished, it's not just our self-assessment, it's another committee's self-assessment. All right, that's one difference. And then we are required every year to have 9 hours of training to become a distinguished board. We would need a majority of the board members to increase that by 3. Okay, so 3 of the board members need to have 12 hours of training. Okay, and the last one, of course, is just to approve our norms in a board meeting. We do that during the year. So again, I think that was something that Tommy suggested earlier. I just want to kind of share what is required if we want to pursue that. And if we do pursue that, it will be something that we would start as soon as 25 rolls into 26. Okay, I just want to share
At
that.
this time, please dismiss all kindergartners and first graders, bus riders, and car riders. At this time, please dismiss all kindergarten and first graders to go to buses and car riders.
That's pretty small. That's right holding, so it too.
Any questions on that? Any questions, Tommy, on that?
No, but we know where we stand.
Right.
We could be thinking about it and revisit it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the other thing in this bucket is just some policy revisions. And so in your packet, there are 3 policy revisions that I would like to bring to our meeting on Thursday. And this would, of course, this would, if approved, we would allow it to sit on the, for public input for 30 days, and then we could formally approve these 3 in November. The first, GBRC, professional personnel workloads. This is a policy that we're required to have. And so we don't have one right now, and so that's why everything's in red, okay? So that's the first policy. The second one, on the second page, IDDD, Gifted Student Programs. Again, with GSBA, this is a policy we are required to have, and we don't have it. And so that's why, again, this one's in all red, okay? And the third one is EBB, our policy on safety. Our state has created a Georgia Ready Seal of Preparedness that we're actually applying for as a district. And one of the requirements is that we have a policy on safety. Okay, and so again, these are 3. We've been doing this since the summertime. You bring in policies that need revision, or in some cases like these 3 need adoption. Total policies. And so,
At this time, please dismiss MATS bus riders and buses 78, 79, and 01. At this time, please dismiss MATS bus riders, buses 78, 79, and 01.
Any questions?
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
So,
Sam. Yes.
Is some of this, Dr. Thomas, are these new state requirements, or is it just us reviewing and we found some holes?
No, some of these are new state requirements. That's right.
The vast majority. So I know we've done 3 of them, but very few have been something
Okay.
all got dropped on. It's
Yeah.
something-
Well,
In the
that's what I
last year or
thought.
2, last year or 2, state legislature changed a bunch of things.
Okay.
Remind me the procedure on this. Except sick for 30 days.
Yeah, so what will happen is we will bring these to the board meeting on Thursday, just a request to put them out there for 30 days. And then per our board policy, the 30 days is just the next regular board meeting. And so we would bring them back in November to be voted on, be in our policy.
Great.
Right. All right. And then the last item I have under Goal Area 4 is just to kind of preview our meeting on Thursday night. We do have some action items, personnel, budget. If you remember from our work session in September, we had 3 policies that have been sitting for 30 days. And so we'll be voting to recommend to make those policy on Thursday night. Those were policies on transfers and withdrawals, the teacher evaluation appeals. I think we talked about it's just replacing TEKS with more generic language, and then our policy on charter schools. Okay, and then I'll also be requesting
At this time, please dismiss second grade car riders. Please make your way quietly to the cafeteria. At this time, please dismiss second grade car riders. Make your way quietly to the cafeteria.
It's a recording. They play it every day.
They call bus 80, I'm out of here.
Okay. All right. We're almost done. And then requesting these 3 new policies that will sit on our for public input 30 days. Those are the action items, our consent agenda for Thursday night, financial reports, MOU with the Lions Lighthouse Foundation to help our kids with their vision, medication protocol to stock glucagon, out-of-state and overnight field trips, minutes of previous meetings, and surplus. That will be on our consent agenda on Thursday night. Ms. Gibson, that's all I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
Great. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? We are adjourned at 2:26 p.m.